All right, still trying to get the hang of this, the smoothness of this Rumble Studio. Trying to get it smooth. How's it going? Welcome back to Black Bear News, where everything is connected. All the viewers are smarter than the average bear. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out. All right, we're live on Rockfin, Rumble, and on YouTube. And I'm going to try and just get through what I'm getting through. Buy coffee. Buy coffee, also buy coffees. You can. All right. So it's hard to get this show going. It just takes a little while to get this show going and get people in here and watching, but welcome. Good to see you. As I was saying, I'm going to cover what I cover and get out of here because I have a lot to do today. I'm putting a record out tomorrow. Probably going to be like tomorrow night. In fact, I think I might have a listening party kind of thing. Not sure yet about that. I'll let you guys know tomorrow about that. I will not have a live stream tomorrow. I will have an upload tomorrow. I will not be here. Pretty sure I won't be here, but it'll be at 11. Whatever I do tomorrow will be here at 11. Okay? Might be a live stream. Might be a live stream. I have so much to do still to finish this record before I release it tomorrow. It'll probably be like tomorrow night at 8 p.m. was when I'll release the record, and I might have a little listening party there at 8 p.m. Right now, if you want to pre-order the record, it is here, dropping links. And listen to a couple songs, dropping links. Where else? I don't know. I can't really. It really sucks because I can't actually chat in the studio, in the Rumble studio, which is annoying. I don't know. Here's the links for the pre-sale. Thanks. YouTube. There's a link. Let's try Rumble. I can't. I can't actually chat with my own Rumble chat while the Rumble video is going. I don't really get that. That's okay. I think it's okay. It's fine. It's okay. There we go. All right, all the pre-sale links, all the links to the pre-sale for my record tomorrow are in all the chats. Go listen, check it out. You can listen to 3 of the songs. There'll be 3 other songs. The whole thing will be out tomorrow. Oh, am I on? Thank you, Bella. Thank you.
I'm trying to get the hang of this thing. This Rumble studio. It's just not. It doesn't work the same. There's no fade out for the intro song, which is annoying. I just have to stop it. And then all the buttons are kind of, it doesn't automatically hook me into my box. But it should sound better now, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. Of course, all the people that contributed to the fundraiser campaign earlier this year for several records to promote several or help fund several records will get this record for free 99. You like the garage echo sound? That's not intentional. All right. Well, let's do these. Because I gotta go. I gotta get back to work. It takes a lot of work to make music. It takes a lot of time to make music. And anybody who makes music will understand what I'm saying. I'm going to start with some comedy jokes.
Okay, he's out there. He's doing his thing, whatever that may be. Come on, just relax. You know, you haven't had a night off in 3 months. Do you want to watch something less stressful like the Menendez Brothers show?
I don't know, Dougie. I kind of wish I had picked Josh right now.
Oh, Josh Shapiro?
No, Josh. Cabernet.
Look, Tim will be fine. It's not like he's going to say something crazy.
I've become friends with school shooters.
Okay, he's out there. He's doing his thing, whatever that may be.
Oh, I love Maya Rudolph and Saturday Night Live. That was a skit on Saturday Night Live. Well, I guess it's an open secret that she's a bit of an alkie. She certainly sounds kind of half loaded most of the time. So, clearly everybody knows she has a drinking issue. If they're doing a sketch on it about it on Saturday Night Live, I think it's kind of like it's pretty well known now, right? It's pretty common knowledge. Anyways, all right, huge big news. Another storm coming towards Florida. Milton is already a Category 5. Jesus. End of private insurance in Florida is heading their way, says Professor Steve Austin. Major Hurricane Milton update. Now a Category 5 hurricane. Sorry, I don't think you can see this. Sorry. Storm stays on current track. It will be the worst storm to impact the Tampa area in over 100 years. Please evacuate if told to do so. Do we have more? Complete all prep before tomorrow night. Looks like it's going to hit. Where are they saying are the worst areas? Well, it looks like that's going to hit Tampa Bay. That's what they're saying. Although I saw a few other. Saw a few other posts about it saying that it wasn't going to hit Tampa, that maybe it would go a bit lower. I don't know. It's a hurricane. They're kind of big. They cover a lot of area. So I think it's going to be bad no matter what. This is what portions of Florida's west coast look like at the moment. This stuff is going to fly everywhere when Hurricane Milton hits. Yeah. I mean, most of the talk is about, most of the attention is on North Carolina, you know, for good reason. And here we go again. All right, I'm going to show this and then I'll talk about it for a second. I've got to show a couple of things. I've never seen a National Hurricane Center cone extend into Germany and Denmark. Yeah, this is Hurricane Kirk or Storm Kirk. I don't know where it's at in the. I guess it's Hurricane Kirk. Hurricane Kirk. It's definitely going to mess up the polling stations. So many theories, conspiracy theories, and otherwise. And here is the thumbnail. Excuse me. For the first time ever recorded, October finds 3 hurricanes spinning simultaneously in the Atlantic. Hot new world. Because because it's what happens when the I heard the funniest shit today. Sometimes I heard the funniest shit today from a climate change denier. Again, somebody I watch on the regular, but when it comes to climate change, just absolutely like kind of poop in the bed there. Here's what this person said. They've been predicting climate change for so long. And now they got to change the weather. Now they got to make the world hotter in order to promote their climate change agenda. I was like, oh my God. So it was like, I don't know if I got the wording exactly right, but that's pretty much what they said. No, now they got to change the weather and make the world hotter in order to back up their climate change agenda. I was like, so it's not actually getting hotter. The world is not getting hotter from the thing that they said that was happening, but they're making it hotter. I don't know. My brain kind of exploded on that one. I was like, what? ¿Qué? ¿Por qué? Listen, man. I know it's, I don't know. There is some fodder for the idea that, things are manipulated. Sure. But you're not going to manipulate 3 storms happening. You're not, come on. Again, there's not always an either or. Sometimes it can be and, right? Climate change is happening, and it could be manipulating events and or manipulating the outcome of the event for whatever reasons, and or not appropriately responding to it. By the way, in the case of the aftermath of Helene, there's been a few people that have said, like, I'm going to Chimney Rock and to dispel all the rumors of the people. There's no dead bodies up here. Nobody's bulldozing nothing. There's been a couple of those, but but the reality is that kind of from everywhere and from so many, I've seen countless posts of people in the area saying, hey, we're not getting help. Hey, they're turning away people that are trying to bring help. Hey, they're, all this like really weird, shady stuff is happening. Hey, we're not getting the funds. Hey, we're not getting taken care of. There is a deluge, right? Remember when we talk about data and evidence and we talk about, if there's a mountain of evidence for something over here and there's a couple of data points over here that say that the opposite, well, those 2 data points don't contradict the mountain of data points over here, right? And that's kind of the best way, not the only way. And I'm not saying I'm not saying it's the only way. I'm not saying it's always right. But the best way to tell whether something is true or false or has a better likelihood of being true is when you have, this many data points, right? And when you have a mountain of data points and they stack up on top of each other, bam, 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 bam. And you have, there's all this, and it's coming from multiple directions. This is why climate change is real, right? Because you have data. You have bum, 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 all these data points coming from multiple directions, right? And a few data points on the other side contradicting it don't like, oh, you topple the whole mountain of data. because it doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way. Yo. So, there's so many different subjects you can apply this to and issues you can apply this to. And that's why some conspiracy theories are absolutely positively true, right? Why conspiracy theories, because when you stack up enough data and evidence on backing a certain point of view or perception, right? One or two data points, even if they're coming from the government or somewhere else, like they don't knock over the whole bunch of data points. So anyways, long explanation, but there's been a couple of videos of people going like, there's nothing happening up here. We're dispelling these conspiracy theories. I'm sorry, your one video doesn't do that. Doesn't knock over all the data points of all the people that are saying like, hey, we're not hey, right? Hey, this is what this is what I'm seeing. And the way that they're trying to couch the conspiracy theory thing is just, they're saying, well, some person made a video and it started this whole raft of, everybody jumping on. No, it wasn't. That's not what it is. It wasn't one person. It was several people over and over and over posting and posting and posting. Hey, we're not getting help. We're not getting help. We're not getting help. We're not getting help. Like that's not a conspiracy theory. That's an actual happening. That's an actual occurrence of something that's, actually people are experiencing in real time and they're posting about it. Hey, this is what's happening. And if you have enough of those, well, then you can kind of get the idea that that's what's happening, right? That's actually what's happening. It's just, I really don't want to, I'm just trying to be helpful in the processing of information, right? But some things are popular theories, but they're not based on, I don't know, a lot of data. Anyways, that's all. But in the case of, right, and these things have been predicted for decades, decades and decades. Hey, this is what it's going to look like when it gets hotter on the planet, and when that heat finally kicks in. Now, granted, the theory or the idea that the people in charge are going to use the subject of climate change to do things that don't actually help the planet. But yeah, that's happening. That's super happening. That is actually correct. Ding, 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 ding. They're not trying to stop the destruction of the planet because why would they? Don't care. They what we do know is that the people in charge of pretty much everything are stuck on stupid. They're stuck on, greed as a motivator, short-term profits and outcomes, and long-term consequences be damned. We know that they operate like that. That's how they operate. Let's blow up some bombs. Let's explode some nuclear bombs. Let's build some nuclear plants. We don't know how long these are going to last or whether this is going to be good for the environment in the long term. But, it seems like a cool idea at the time. And we have the technology, so we're just going to roll it out. That's how they operate. They don't operate, they don't really operate on the long-term consequences kind of thing, the 7 generations thing, if you will. They don't cotton with that kind of stuff. They just go for the short term, right? So, right, short-term profits. They don't care about poisoning you with, things they put in the water or things that they put in your children. They don't care about poisoning you because it's in the service of a profit in the immediate. They don't care about poisoning the planet or changing the biosphere of the planet, because that would require long-term thinking. They don't do that. They do short-term profits, short-term benefits, Key bono in the moment, right? Today. Who profits today? Who profits like right away? How can we get how can we get this fentanyl out to and into veins of people as quickly as possible? Long-term consequences be damned. That's what they do. That's how they operate, right? But here we are experiencing the long-term consequences of poisoning the planet, polluting the planet, pumping out crap in through smokestacks and tailpipes into the atmosphere over and over and over, 24 hours a day, decade after decade after decade after decade. Eventually it's going to have, an effect. Eventually it's going to have an effect. To deny that it's going to that the consequences of polluting the planet over several decades isn't going to have an effect is not only unintelligent, it's I it's intentionally unintelligent. And all you have to do is look at how they operate, right? The same people that can totally see that they poison, your children with medicines that are unnecessary, or poison the planet with plastics, or poison the planet with, dioxins, or poison the planet. Like, the same people that can see all of that can't see, like, oh, well, they poison the planet with carbon dioxide, or the burning of crap, putting it, whatever, it's not just carbon dioxide. That's just one data point. That's just one data point in a huge set of data points. So, like, you can't really ignore that part. To ignore that is to miss the information that you're receiving. Again, there's somebody left it. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know whether to take it as a joke or not. Because I can't really tell sometimes, because people, when you're trying to be funny and sarcastic by text, it doesn't really come through. So, and people do that to me all the time, or do that in chats all the time, where you're like, you say something and it might be just completely ridiculous, but somebody left a comment on a Rockfin video about, like, I guess I said something about two planets, or about planets rotating around something, and they were like, hey, you said something, you lost me at the two planet. Don't you know there are no planets? Get woke. And I was like, I can't tell whether this is a joke, whether this person is on one, or they're joking. I can't, you have to do a little, asterisk, ha ha in there, because otherwise I'm going to assume that you're serious about what you're saying. And then, I really didn't have anything to say to that, because I was like, person shuffling around an insane asylum in a bathrobe talking about they're crazy. However, sometimes they are crazy. Anyways, I do remember that, Salt Lickers. I do. The TV commercial with the Native American on the side of the road crying about pollution. Yeah. Yeah. Crying Sicilian. I mean, it was easy. You know, it was easier to get people to care when you could actually see it. When you clean it up just a little bit, then people are like, "What are you talking about?" That's crazy. When you hide it and bury it, it's kind of like the casualties of war, right? If you don't show bodies coming home from a war, if you don't actually give people a death count, if you don't actually let people see what's happening in war, then they're like, I don't know what's wrong. You know, hey, let's go. Endless wars, no problem. No problem for me. Go get those bad guys. But when you show people the actual effects of the war and you allow people to see the effects of the war and they're confronted by it, then they're like, oh, that's really bad. I don't think I want any part of that. Right. You can't grow the population without pollution. That's true. which is the end result of too many people doing too many things, which is all a consumer model anyways, right? Hey, you're the cattle, you're the sheep, which are being marketed to. You're being told this is how you live, this is how we do it, this is what you need all these things, we're here to sell you all these things, you know, and you willingly do it and you participate in the destruction of the planet. You are a willing participant. There needs to be, right? And people don't want to actually accept that part. They hate you. They want to kill you. Well, no, they actually need you to participate in the destruction of the planet. Yes, they want to kill you, but they want to get a lot of money first. Short term. Remember, short term. Remember that. Can you remember that? Short term. Short term thinking, greed over long term consequences. They don't care about the long term consequences. So, yes, eventually they want to kill you. Eventually, we're all going to get dead because of the short term, the long term consequences of the short term thinking. Eventually, right? That's what's going to happen. But the idea that like you're not a participant in that is also wild. Just absolutely wild and unintelligent and intentionally unintelligent. That you are not a participant in the destruction of the planet. Come on, man. Get it together. So, you know, not either or, and, you know, this could be a problem and this could be a problem. These could be problems and those could be problems. And always and. Anyways, it's not very popular. It's definitely not popular in the alternative news world to even say anything like what I'm saying. It's okay. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna keep on saying it. It's not even popular in the environmental world to say what I'm saying. Michael Moore tried to say that, and they tried to take his video down. Planet of the Apes. I mean humans. Sorry, we are apes. Too. Oh, that's not popular to say either. Anyways, it's not popular to say. But when you try to say it, you know, Michael Moore tried to say it and people really slammed him. How dare you? It's not, you know, we need what you're trying to slam the elites fixes to climate change that are basically just all about the same thing, all about mining and chipping and building and constructing and building and energizing more people. That's all it's about. It's just switching out. That's a huge money grab, switching out one energy source for another or several other energy sources for another, but still powering all the consumption. That's just the same thing going forward. And he tried to point that out. But if you point out the actual solution to it, which is getting off the teat of all of this and consumption and living in a much more simple way, if you point that out, they don't want you to think about those things. They don't want you to think about the actual solution because there's no money in it. If there's no money in the answer, then nobody wants to hear it. But that's the reality of it. Sorry to say. And whether you want to think about it or not, that's the reality of it. Is that's what's happening. Physics work whether you want to believe them or not. And again, there are people that are like, I believe physics over here, but not physics over here. I pick and choose which day I want to believe in physics. And that's certainly you're right, but physics don't care about you or your feelings or your viewpoint or they don't. This is funny. Oil companies are explaining to Trump that the Inflation Reduction Act was actually a giant win for fossil fuel companies, which it was. Again, going back to the part where they try to tell you that they care about climate change, but they're not going to do anything about climate change. Sorry. And in fact, we're going to have to approve some more oil wells. We're going to have to ask OPEC to increase their pumping of oil. Why are they doing this? Because you can't keep everything going and keep the money grift and the money laundering going without the oil. You can't do it. So you can't be it's a great game that they're doing, because out of one side of their mouth they're saying climate change is a real problem, and out of the other side of their mouth they're like, let's ramp up the things that cause climate change. It's hilarious. I don't know about the phrase "they hate you," right? Or they want you all to die. That, I think that's less accurate as the phrase is that they don't care. They just don't care. They don't care about you. They just don't care about you. They don't care whether you make it or not, or whether the earth makes it or not. They just don't care. They're just careless, selfish jackholes. But they're not like, and they might actually have plans to get to take people out, but they don't. In the long run, they need the engine to keep going, because without the engine they don't have anything. I mean, if civilization collapses, it's going to be really hard, even for there's going to be the number of elite that are going to make it in their compounds and their bunkers. I mean, even though, again, short-term thinking, long-term consequences, if everything that supplies you with everything that you need fails, it's just a matter of time before whatever it is that is keeping you alive also fails. So again, that strategy is not really a great one. They're stupid and they don't care. That's actually a better way to think about it. And yes, some of them are psychopathic and they might actually wish death on people, but when they actually, wars are a really great way to cure the population, at least hack away at the population problem. Anyways, oil companies try to persuade Trump and his Republican allies not to slash provisions of the Inflation Reduction Act, potentially worth billions. Yeah, billions. Yep. Daryl, yeah, climate change is a cover story for racketeering scams anyways. That doesn't mean that climate change isn't actually happening. That's the part that people, trip up and fall on their face over, and it's unfortunate. I don't know. I don't know how many times I can say it. Nobody seems to be getting it though, because I think I'm the only one that's saying it. Honestly. In quite this way. I think I don't know anybody else who's saying it like this. Because you have to take one side or the other. You have to be like, climate change is a complete scam and totally false and totally fake, and they're just trying to get you onto the digital. Yes, all that is true. They're trying to get you onto the digital CBDC and track and trace system, and yes, that doesn't mean that climate change isn't absolutely happening, because it is. Like, and nobody can say that. Nobody can say like, yep, over here. I mean, Michael Moore is about the only other person I know that got close to saying that. Like, yeah, climate change is absolutely destroying the planet, and all this other stuff is just. If somebody else is saying it like that, it's just very. Maybe I feel like there's probably some other people saying it like that. Maybe I'm not the only one, but I just feel awful alone. I feel very lonely when I'm saying this. Y'all don't get it. No, I'm not talking about you. You guys get it because you're watching the show. But y'all, as in the people out there, they do not get it. And it's going to be very hard to convince them otherwise. Until they, stumble into the future, gasping and choking and wondering what the fuck is going on. I mean, it's going to be a little late then. Bill Maher is a climate change doomer, is he? Yes. Well, also, if you really, it's like telling the truth is a dangerous business. And that's all I got to say about that. And so, telling the truth can be very unpopular. It's okay. I tried to I uploaded my video again, one of my music video, the one that with the Gaza clips, just so I could get some captions on it onto TikTok, and I did it. They let me upload it just long enough to get the captions and to download the video, and then they booted the video again. And they said I was guilty of harassment. Really? Harassment? I'm showing pictures of Israelis kicking people, bombing people, and doing all kinds of unspeakable things. But I'm harassing. Okay. I should find myself a crying Italian Indian dog. Yeah. Get a freaking helmet, bro. Anyways. I really do have to end the show soon, but man, it's hard. It's the fossil fuel pollution. The Gulf of Mexico is the hottest it's ever been on this date. Hotter water makes storms stronger. This is like science and stuff, physics and stuff. It's okay. Discernment is key. Gulf of Mexico is the hottest it's ever been on the state. Hotter water makes storms stronger. We're in a full-blown 5-alarm climate emergency from burning oil, gas, and coal. Hot water. The planet is hotter there, It's kind of obvious that the planet is hotter. I don't know, what to tell you. Did you Denver, did you see the video with James Corbett and the self-replicating mRNA? Did anybody see that? Or what is it called? SA mRNA that they approved in Japan. I think it's, what is it? Self-actualizing? I don't know what the A stands for. But it's also called Replicon, which is not something out of a sci-fi movie. Replicon mRNA. Replicons, yeah. That's wild. Basically, it's like a mRNA that will take over your cells to produce self-amplifying. Thank you. To produce, whatever proteins or etc. that they want your cells to express. I mean, extend that as far out as you want. That craziness. Chad Miano says climate change will be used by ones who have the means to enrich themselves, the ultimate form of disaster capitalism. Yeah, they don't care. They think they're going to make it. Oh, you did? Like you did a podcast 1 or 2 months ago. Okay. Shoot. Where it be? I want to watch it. Yeah. Well, this is the other thing. The people in charge are stuck on stupid because they think they have plans that are going to go a certain way. Sometimes they do go that way, but mostly they don't go necessarily, they get resistance. If Jordan Peterson is correct about one thing, it's that creeping totalitarianism thing that he talked about, where they go forward and people go, hey, stop right there. And they go, oh, sorry. And they pull back and people think like, oh, whew. We narrowly escaped that one, and they keep going forward. And then, even past where they go right past where people thought they should stop. Hey, internet freedom. Right there, nobody's even talking about Internet Bill of Rights anymore. They're just what Citizens United was supposedly a fight, but they're like, no, shut up. We want Citizens United, and everyone, nobody even talks about it anymore. They're like, okay, well, I guess we'll let you have that one. That's fine. We'll let you have that one. We'll let you take our rights and our freedoms. Free speech. Who needs it? They're just going to blow right on past, where whatever people are putting their hands up about, they're just blowing right past it. They're like, yeah, whatever. Nanoparticle tech is the overall topic here. Oh yeah, I'm into it, man. Okay, I'll check it out. Okay. Lastly, let's cover this. The Biden-Harris administration it was revealed they did two very evil things. Evil, you say? No. not the Biden-Harris administration. They're full of joy. Politico broke that Biden-Harris admin encouraged Israel to invade and attack Lebanon. You don't say. Now Axios is reporting that the administration is pushing for a new president there. So Biden-Harris colluded with Israel to kill thousands of Lebanese to enact regime change. No. They never do that. Are you kidding me? This is like the thing that people who, are like, Trump is going to take away all your rights and do the fascism. They just like, they don't, but they're like, I'm cool with this. I'm fine with this. U.S. wants to use Hezbollah's weakness to elect new Lebanese president. U.S. officials say the White House wants to take advantage of Israel's massive blow to Hezbollah's leadership and infrastructure to push for an election of a new Lebanese president. Oh, okay. Lebanon hasn't had a president for almost 2 years, which has increased instability. Really? Who's the president? Who's in charge? I don't know. Hezbollah's leader, Hassan Nasrallah, top military commanders, and other Hezbollah members were killed by Israeli airstrikes in recent weeks, which we totally didn't help them with. Israel attacks killed more than 1,100 people in Lebanon, all of them guilty, of course, including dozens of women and children, all guilty. They're a Hezbollah. Lebanese health ministry said, without specifying how many of the people killed were Hezbollah members, probably like 2. Hezbollah in recent weeks stopped publishing the number of casualties it suffered. Anyways. The Lebanese political system is built on power sharing between different religious sects. Post of the president is occupied by a Christian. Anyways, they didn't reach consensus on any new president. Interesting. And par for the course. Here's another news story that is also not shocking, but shocking. According to Israeli officials, the Biden-Harris administration approved Israel's policy of bombing aid trucks in Gaza. It means Biden and Kamala Harris are complicit in the murder of an American aid worker and the starvation of Palestinian people. But of course, people are going to ignore the ever-loving shit out of this because we have to stop fascism, of course. Blinken approved policy to bomb aid trucks. Golly. Israeli cabinet members suggest from the very beginning of Israel's assault on the Gaza Strip, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken had his hands on the steering wheel. After October 7, today's October 7, do y'all realize it's been a whole year? Blinken was the first senior U.S. official to arrive in Israel on October 11th. I'm going to be going with a very simple and clear message that the United States has Israel's back. Blinken reportedly said before boarding the plane. He returned again days later. This time Blinken was there to demand that Israel rethink its decision to bomb any humanitarian aid entering Gaza and impose a total siege on the Strip. In exchange, U.S. President Joe Biden offered to visit Israel himself. Netanyahu explained to Blinken upon his arrival on October 16th, I have got people in the cabinet who don't want an aspirin to get into Gaza because of what's happened on that fateful day. Anyways, Blinken, for his part, concluded that the day with a triumphant speech taking responsibility for the restarting of humanitarian aid to Gaza. Excuse me. Anyways, minimal aid should be allowed. Blah, 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 blah. I'm just trying to get to the On February 5th, the Israeli military shelled a UNRWA aid truck, leading the agency in the World Food Program to halt aid missions for weeks. The IDF spokesperson told the media the incident was under review and refused to provide additional details. One day later, however, Israeli outlet I-24 News reported, based on our unnamed security sources, that the IDF had targeted stolen Gaza aid trucks that Hamas uses as transportation for ammunition. Same day, an Israeli airstrike targeted a police car, which provided security escort to a flour truck, ripping the passengers to pieces. Wow. Let's see. There was supposed to be an investigation of the killing of aid workers. On August 29th, the Israeli military assassinated 4 Palestinian aid delivery workers who accompanied a convoy. Again, the Israeli government cited operational policy of targeting armed forces who assume control of the aid as justification for the strike. That's all you need to do is just call them the names. State Department, meanwhile, continuously offered lip service to the suffering of Palestinians when asked about the U.S.'s responsibility for the spread of starvation in Gaza. State Department spokesperson Matthew Miller responded, "It is the United States that has secured all of the major agreements to get more humanitarian assistance into Gaza going back to the very early days, the first week of October 7th. After October 7th, when the secretary traveled to the region and the president traveled to Israel and together convinced Israel to open the Rafah crossing, to allow humanitarian assistance in. In fact, Blinken and Biden's visit resulted in the formulation of the Israeli policy of starvation as it stands today. The United States, including Blinken and others, have legitimized this tactic. Starvation as a weapon of war is okay as long as we agree with your aims. The U.S. approved policy was then implemented using U.S. manufactured weapons with the backing of the U.S. imposed sanctions under the veil of a U.S. constructed narrative. The U.S. was, let's see. So basically, saying one thing, doing another. Is that took a long time to get to that point, right? Where are you at, Fred? Lots of Trump signs around here? Even the Green Party is in the bright green. Oh, yeah, sure, for sure. I mean, that's why it's like, I feel like the Green Party is the actual lesser of all the evils. But they're still really, really far from the mark of anything, But I mean, they're at least don't want genocide, They're at least willing to talk about less genocide. And actually talk about things like, climate change and whatnot. But you cannot rule out civil war if either party wins. I don't know, man. It's going to be hotly contested. I can tell you that much. I do. Oh, you're in Georgia. I do think, though. I do think, and I don't say this as a Trump supporter. Please don't get me wrong. Please don't get me wrong. I think that I think that Trump is going to win. I think that at least he has I don't see the Democrats winning. I just don't. There's Trump support. There is lots of visible Trump support here, and I'm in Los Angeles, California. And let me tell you, the amount of Trump support I'm seeing is kind of wild. So if I'm seeing Trump support here, there's not a chance, there's not a snowball's chance in hell that the Harris campaign is going to win. I'm sorry, I wouldn't even believe it. If Kamala Harris won, I wouldn't even believe it. I wouldn't even believe, and I'm not saying that as a Trump supporter, I'm just saying that as an objective observer. I would be like, what? I don't even see that. Mainly because of what they are doing in Gaza, and also the fact that the economy is absolutely in the tank. And I just think people are going to vote against the current party that is absolutely shredded their finances, right? People have had their finances absolutely obliterated. And I'm sorry, you are not going to win. You're not going to win. If people feel that way and feel a lot of animosity towards the current administration, especially over their pocketbook and not being able to buy food, sorry, you're not going to win. You're going to lose, and you should lose. I'm not saying I'm a Trump supporter, and I fear a Trump administration as much as I fear a Harris administration. I'm just saying, from objective observation, Trump is going to win. And if he doesn't win, a lot of people are going to go, what? A lot of people are going to have that reaction. So don't be surprised. If she does win, don't be surprised at the reaction, because I feel like it might be warranted. It might be warranted, because I just don't see it. And I've had people, even in my comments here, say like, well, she's got more financial support. Well, sure. Yes, Beverly Hills, Fred. Yeah. I just saw I've seen 2 Trump rallies in Beverly Hills. I saw one a month ago or so, and I just saw one like 3 days ago. I was in Beverly Hills, drove past a huge Trump rally, and I was like, wow, okay. Wow. I see Trump stickers on cars of just not like big fat trucks of people that might be here from Bakersfield or Orange County. No, just regular ass people driving around LA in regular cars with Trump stickers on. I'm like, whoa, that's weird. I see Trump booths everywhere. I see so much Trump support here that it's kind of like, I'm like, what this means something. If the Trump support here is at that level, where is it everywhere else? Is all I'm trying to say. If in one of the bluest cities in the bluest states in the nation, what's it like elsewhere? I just don't see it. I see too much questioning of Kamala Harris, her policies, everything about her. I see too much questioning of the Democratic Party. You just can't. You can't win. You can't. And so, you can argue, and I'm willing to listen to the arguments. You can argue like, oh, well, some people really like Kamala. Okay. But a whole lot of people hate the ever living hell out of this administration for genuine reasons. So I just don't see it. I don't see Harris winning. I don't see it. And I wouldn't believe it. I just, honestly, I just don't believe it. If Harris won, I would be like, nope, I'm in utter shock, utter disbelief, because I don't see it. I just don't. So, again, I fear a Trump administration, because Trump is going to push through. I mean, shit, Trump wants to bomb Iran, and that's horrible. That's a horrible thing to say out loud. And that's a horrible, to think that Trump might get in and start throwing, punches, out, just get in there and start throwing punches at Iran, just the U.S. like that, that's just World War III shit. Like, no. Unions will not commit. What does that mean? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's just what I see. I'm not, again, I'm not like endorsing. I'm not saying I like somebody over somebody else. Just totally objective observation. Just what I'm seeing in the streets, on the internets, just around. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. And remember, she's just genuinely unlikable, like in the way that Hillary Clinton is genuinely unlikable. And you're gonna, if you want to shove somebody down people's throats, like, you better vote for this person because they're great. And you can't you can't change somebody's mind. You can't just make people go like, all right, she's great. No, she's not great. Everybody knows that. She's genuinely unlikable. She ain't gonna win. Anyways, the East Coast dock workers like Trump? I'm sure that they do. I'm sure that they do. All right, guys, I got to get out of here. Thanks so much. Hempcar says, how many times are they going to try to kill Trump? That's a good question. I mean, if he's not around, that's a totally different story. What if the point, Denver says, what if the point is to appoint Kamala despite her unpopularity? It might be. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like, it might be, maybe the point is a civil war, right? Maybe the point is Kamala wins and everybody loses their minds. I mean, that might be the point. And, for the people out there that are like, duh, that's totally the point, dude, just chill out. Chill out. It's okay. That's totally it, guy. You don't understand. It might be the point. It might be. Right? Maybe they want a civil war to pop off. Sure. Sure. And then what? To declare martial law? Somebody else suggest, plenty of people have suggested this, and it's not out of the realm of possibility in my mind. And then what? And then what do you do? I don't know. Then martial law, and then what? Somebody rules by decree? Kamala rules by decree? No, she can't win, and everybody goes crazy, and then they're like, well, this is it. We decided Kamala won, so that's it. Rule by decree. I don't know. I mean, they did that with Bush W. They're like, yeah, Gore didn't win. And everybody's like, what? Gore didn't win? And they're like, yeah, no, Bush won. Okay, he's the president. Now he's the president. I don't know. They could do it. All right, guys. Thanks so much. Appreciate. Oh, don't forget to support the show, please. The direct donation links are in the description box. Also, I'll see you all tomorrow, whether it's live or whether it's Memorex. Okay. I'm gonna see you tomorrow. Thanks, guys. Until next time. Don't even remember how to get out of here. Until next time, peace.